Did you know that you can get a faux fireplace on your TV? We're in the middle of the holiday season, and today I want to invite you into my home for a Christmas home tour. Now, I am very minimal when it comes to decor in general. My Christmas is no different, but let me show you a few things. So here on my dining room table, I have a new runner. A couple of weeks ago, we went Christmas shopping and I had picked up a runner at Home Goods and at TJ Maxx. And this was the one from TJ Maxx that I ended up keeping. I really love that it has this kind of greenery pattern with the red berries as well as the red trim. I think it coordinates really nicely with my centerpiece. Now, this centerpiece is the same one that I use every Christmas, probably for the last 4 Christmases at least. George, my husband, who is very handy, actually built me this rustic box, and I decorate it seasonally. So sometimes I have dried florals in here, and for the holidays, I usually put this swag that I picked up on clearance after Christmas at Michael's. It is a pine swag that I actually spray painted lightly with a little bit of white to give it this sort of frosted or flocked snowy look. And then I put in some floral picks that have some berries as well as some pine cones, and I really love it. And on either side, I have these mercury glass hurricane lamps or hurricane candle holders that if you are from the New England area, you might recall a store called the Christmas Tree Shop. Well, it's been closed for several years, and I bought these several years before that. So they're probably upwards of 10 years old now. And I really like them, and I put them out every year. But this year I've been on this little kick with these LED battery operated fairy lights, and I've been putting them on everything. And I stuck some in these mercury glass hurricane lanterns. I love them. I think they look so pretty. I have used LED battery operated candles before, but these give such a nice glow at night when it gets dark. Looks really pretty. This adorable fiber optic snowman was the first decoration that my husband George and I purchased when we were newly married for our apartment. It is 21 years old. I bought it at CVS, which is a pharmacy. I had gone in there to pick something up. I saw it. I thought it was so cute, and it officially became our first Christmas decoration. So it's been around for a long time. The kids recognize it every year. They like seeing the snowman come out, and it's just one of those pieces of nostalgic decor for us that actually has a meaning behind it, and we love it. Here in the foyer, I hung a wreath on our mirror. It is just one of those cedar wreaths that already came with that really pretty light taupe velvet bow. I had bought that at Joann Fabrics a few years ago, and that's another store that I believe is also closing. Everything is closing, right? And then I have this tree that I purchased at Michael's that I just put a few small ornaments on. I hung them with some garden twine, and I also have a set of string lights on them that are battery operated. They're all on a timer, so they go on for 6 hours and then they shut off, and 18 hours later they turn on again. And I really like that because they all turn on around the same time. And of course, the true meaning of Christmas, the reason for this season, I have a little nativity scene here. I had picked that up at Kohl's also several years ago. So the theme here is that most of my Christmas decor we've had for several years. Cute little Santa. And my amaryllis that we potted up a few weeks back with my garden club is putting on some size. You can see there's a couple of leaves, and that is the bud that's already coming up as well. So we're 3 weeks out from Christmas. We'll see if it blooms in time for Christmas. And then on this Bombay chest, I just hung a couple of stockings. Did you know that you can get a faux fireplace on your TV? It really kicks up the holiday ambiance. I actually found this on YouTube. So all you have to do is go to YouTube and do a search, and you can put fireplace burning, or you can put Christmas scenes. There are so many of these TV screensavers that you can find on YouTube with different displays, and they're so pretty. This one even looks like one of those fancy framed TVs. This is like my new favorite thing, is to find a new scene to put on the television. And on the entertainment center, really simple, I just have these mercury glass trees. I have one on each side. And they're also 6 hours on, 18 hours off, so they're battery operated. And when we went over to At Home several weeks ago doing a bit of Christmas shopping, I had picked up a couple of these garlands. So this is new this year, these garlands. I picked up a couple of 6-foot lengths and a couple of 9-foot lengths. And then I picked up some more of these fairy lights to put on them. And I think it looks really pretty. I liked that these garlands were very soft. They didn't have that hard wire that I was afraid would scratch the furniture, and it sits really nicely on the top of the TV stand. And you know Home Depot has children's workshops. We made that with our boys when they were little, and every year it comes out and they do the countdown to Christmas. And then we have our stockings, which we don't put on the fireplace. We kind of just hang them on the entertainment center and on this table that has to get moved for the Christmas tree because we don't have a mantle. We just have a stone fireplace. And the only time I ever miss not having a mantle is around the holidays. And so this year I used one of those garlands that I picked up to make a faux mantle. I think it turned out really pretty. So this is one of those 9-foot garlands. And then I picked up one of those bell garlands that were by Martha Stewart. They had them at Home Goods. I ended up getting one at TJ Maxx. And then I strung another one of those fairy lights, and it looks really pretty, paired with this wreath that I created several years ago. I actually DIY'd this myself. I bought the green wreath on the wire frame from Michael's, again, after Christmas clearance. The same time I bought that pine swag that's on the centerpiece of the dining room. And then I just sprayed it again with a little bit of spray paint to flock it. And then I added a bunch of ornaments. And I think it turned out really pretty. And so these two together give us a little glow in the evening, and I love it. Here on this side table, these are things, again, I've had for several years. I have this pretty woodland flocked tree and my all-time favorite picture of my boys for Christmas. They were little here, so I'll share the photo. In general, I don't share my boys online, but I loved this one because the older brother was wiser and knew that he had to be good for Santa, and the little one was not having any of it. And that is the best looking Santa I have ever seen. It was Santa Bob, and he drove a red Prius with a license plate that read Santa. He was great and such a beautiful Santa. And here are some woodland reindeer that were also purchased after Christmas on clearance. Best time to go Christmas shopping, friends, for decor. And a Santa. These are those new candle warmers. And on it I have, which I like a lot, you just plug it in, it's like a little lamp, and then the heat warms up the wax and you don't have to light the candle with a flame. This one is a Mainstays candle from Walmart. It's the sugar cookies. It's cinnamon, allspice, and baked cookies fragrance. It smells lovely. Here in the corner on this end table, I have a church that used to be part of our Christmas village. We no longer do the Christmas village, but I really love this piece, and it has lights in it and it glows in the evening, and I really like it. And it pairs beautifully with this Santa, with the birdhouse, and a woodland tree. In the back of our living room, we have some Christmas lights. These are icicle lights that we hung on the curtain rods. And fun fact, these have been up since last Christmas. I had to dust around them, but my son really likes them up, and I think they're nice. Once in a while, we'll put them on at night, and we've just kept them up. And on the windows, every year he likes to stick his little Klingons. We keep those from year to year as well. And those are decorative. We have some with puppies and kitties. And then my fiddle leaf fig is also getting really pretty and big. I could have probably put some fairy lights on that as well. Can you believe that I picked this up on clearance from Lowe's? It had like 2 leaves on it, and they're supposed to be difficult plants. I really did not think that I was going to get it to thrive, and it must just be really happy in this spot. And a nutcracker. Now this is a piece of outdoor decor that we had picked up at the Home Depot, but my son didn't want to keep it outside because he didn't want it to get ruined. So now he lives in our living room during the holiday season. He does play music, which we keep off, and his eyes also move, but then it sounds like a ticking clock. So if you keep them stationary, He's nice and quiet and very cute. But I wanted to show you that my plant here, this is a Thanksgiving cactus, and there are 3 varieties of these plants. There's the Christmas, the Thanksgiving, and the Easter. And I know that it's a Thanksgiving cactus based on the shape of the leaves. They're very pointy. There's a picture you can find online on how to identify the 3 varieties. Typically, I bring this plant out for the summer, and as soon as I bring it back in, it will start pushing out its buds and blooming. Well, I didn't bring it out for the summer this year, and so it's a little bit late. Usually it does bloom by Thanksgiving. Now it's looking like it's going to bloom closer to Christmas. It's just starting to push out some of its buds. Look at that. I always think they look like little teeth. And it is a really pretty light, like coral color. But let me know if you have Thanksgiving or Christmas cactuses. These are plants that are like heirloom plants. They can go for years and years. My husband's aunt and uncle had huge ones that they would hang outside in their carport over the summer, and those plants were over 30 years old. So I always think stories like that are so cool. And on this side, some more window clings and a couple of nutcrackers. Another one of those sentimental pieces for me is this here. This was made with my boys when they were little. It is from 2014, and it is their handprints and their footprints. And these are the types of Christmas pieces that really just, hold that nostalgia and just bring those memories back every year. And our Christmas tree. Now, we purchased this artificial tree back in 2011. It was a Black Friday sale, and it was an LED tree, and I don't want to jinx it, but the lights still work. And it's a Martha Stewart tree, so the branching is really beautiful on it. It looks very realistic after you do a little bit of fluffing, and it's held up really well for us. And on it, I have pretty much the same ornaments I use every year. I usually go with red and burgundies. Last year, I did buy some of these little bows that you can kind of hang on the tree with a twisty tie in this light taupe color. And I picked up a couple of these clip-on birds, which I think are really sweet. And I again hung some of my yearly ornaments. Every year, we would take a Christmas photo with the kids and Santa Bob. Here's an ornament where Rocco joined our family in 2018. He was just a brand new little pup there. He was born in August, so that made him, 4 months old by Christmas? Cute little guy. I did end up getting a new Christmas tree skirt this year. The one that we had for several years ended up getting sucked up by the vacuum, and when I tried to pull it out, it ripped. But I really like this new one. It has these ruffles, and it's like a red velvet material. I think it's really pretty. In our kitchen, I also keep it pretty minimal. I do have this swag that I've been hanging up above our kitchen sink for quite a few years now. I actually keep the command strips up all year, and then I just strung some lights on it. And this is a sign that I've had for a while as well. It came from Target after Christmas clearance, the joy sign, and some nutcrackers. And this year I did pick up this vase with the white pot and the cedar sprigs with the holly berries in white. That was from Walmart. And I also discovered that if you get a roll of ribbon and you put bows on things, it automatically makes them look more festive. So I had purchased this ornament with the 3 bells at Walmart, and it came with a small red bow, and I replaced it with a bigger bow that I just made out of some ribbon. And I think it looks really pretty. And a cookie jar truck that we've had for a little while as well. And here in our breakfast nook, I did hang some wreaths up this year. So this is new, the wreaths on the windows and the garland that I put on our light fixture. So this is a 9-foot garland, the same one that I put on the fireplace. And then I got the 6-foot length to go on the entertainment stand. And it just draped so nicely around this light fixture. And then I secured it at the end with one of those wire tree ornaments, and it worked out well. And here on the windows, I just bought some plain faux cedar wreaths. These are 18-inch wreaths, and I used the same Walmart bell ornaments in the center. and the red Christmas red velvet ribbon to hang them from some command strips and to make a bow. And I think they turned out really sweet. And in the center of the table on our nook, we have a holiday runner with this stand where we normally keep our fruit, but for now it has been decorated for Christmas. And we have some of these paper accordion trees, which by the way are great to decorate with because they're super easy to fold and put away and don't take up any storage space. I have this tin that was filled with candy, but the kids have been going at it, so I'll have to replenish that. And then of course we have our holiday mugs. There's one that says joy and one that says peace. And I have a couple more in the cabinet that didn't fit here. And great fillers are just some ornaments and some pine cones. And this is the small table runner that I was able to find for this table. Here in our breakfast nook, we also have this sideboard where I keep our holiday dishes. And the rest of the accordion trees, they came as a set, 2 of the green and then 3 of the red, and I think they look really pretty on this runner, this plaid runner. And this mercury glass tree I picked up this year at Target. It's one of those LED ones, also has a timer. And I think it looks really beautiful in this arrangement. Plus it offers some light at night, which I really like. And this little Christmas house that we've had for a long time as well. Believe it came from Michael's with the little bottle brush trees and a furry roof. It does make a mess when you move it from all the glitter, so I try not to touch it too much unless I have to turn it on for the lights. And it's sitting on top of this vintage scale. Now there's actually some history behind this scale. It's a family heirloom. My husband George had an aunt and uncle who, his Aunt Mary, she used to bake a lot, and this was actually her scale. She passed away, and a few years later, his uncle had gone into a home and they needed to empty out their house. And I was able to get this scale, which I was so happy about. And this is from the 60s, and it's actually accurate. It weighs up to 60 pounds. We've tested it against my modern day digital scale, and it is exactly right. So it's a really beautiful piece, and usually I have a plant on it, but currently it has the Christmas house for the holidays. We also added a little bit of holiday decor in our guest bathroom this year. So I put a pot on top of the toilet that has the same greenery in it that we used in the boys' bathroom, those 2 sprigs of pine with the pine cones, and then 2 little wooden trees and some pine spray, room spray. And then on the vanity, I just have this tall tree, which is actually plastic, and that is great. Because the vanity is a little bit small, I was afraid that, it could get knocked off, and so I didn't want to use anything glass. And then we have the Blue Land holiday soap. And what I really love is this garland that I hung on the mirror this year with some command strips. I did add a velvet white ribbon because the bathroom has light colors in it and I thought it matched better than say red. And I really love the way that it looks. I think it adds a little bit of festive flair and just kind of warms up the space for the holidays. Rocco might be my favorite part of the Christmas decor. He looks like such a little model on the couch. Good boy. You love your blankies, huh? Are you cold? You chilly? He's always cold. He's short-haired, so we could have the heat at 70 and he's always cold. Loves looking for a blankie to lay underneath. Hooked and Rooted is typically a gardening channel, but throughout the fall and winter months, I do like to have a little bit of home content as well. So I hope that you enjoyed today's Christmas home decor tour. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I'll catch you in the next one.